KARE-11 News Mornings.
Working for climate change. Explorer Will Steger's here with a preview of his upcoming Expedition Showcase Minnesota starts right now. Welcome back to the show. Internationally renowned polar explorer Will Steger is gearing up for his next adventure. Next month, Will embarks on Expedition Copenhagen, a 2-week campaign designed to get young people involved in and aware of regional climate legislation. And Will is here this morning to tell us more. Good morning, sir. Great to see you again. You bet. Well, tell us about the trip to Copenhagen. It's really interesting, getting some young people involved, too.
Well, as some people may be unaware, but in early December, the nations from around the world are meeting in Copenhagen to draw our targets for carbon dioxide for the future. And we're involving the youth in the Midwest. We have a delegation of 12 youth. We also have standards-based curriculum in the United States schools around the study of Copenhagen and negotiation. So the youth will be going to Copenhagen. There'll also be the live feedback to the curriculum. But more than that, we're organizing with the youth because we really need the youth voice involved with this because their future is being determined on this. And
where do the students come from, and how are they? Did you say high school students?
No, they're 20 to 25.
Oh, okay, so they're in college,
from the
secondary.
Midwest, college or out of college. They're from the 5-state area here, including Michigan. And we chose them. We put feelers out about 60 applicants from different various schools and organizations.
And what was the criteria to choosing them?
Well, a certain education level, our knowledge of the issues, articulate that can represent their generation.
Very good.
And,
very good.
And we've done a couple of media training, and we've done training on the issues. So we've been together a number of times so far. So it's a really great group.
When you go to the conference in Copenhagen, what will their duties be? Are they just to take everything in, or will they be getting up and speaking and putting on presentations and such? Yeah,
well, they'll be online. So we'll be communicating with back in the United States and around the youth in general around the world. So they have certain assignments within the curriculum that they're doing, but also organizing. We want to get the youth around the world to put the pressure on these negotiations so we have reasonable targets that represent the youth. So,
what will you be doing at the conference?
Yeah, I'll be there. We will be watching the conference. We're not taking place of the actual negotiations. There's a lot of other events being involved, but our main goal here is to really get engagement of the world's youth around Copenhagen.
Well, and you being a firm supporter and believer in this, do you meet with people from around the world and share your stories of being to the polls and what you've seen?
Yeah, I've spoken Asia and Europe. Although in Europe, for example, you don't have the deniers or the skeptics in this country because they're looking at pretty much pure science. There isn't much of an argument over there, but I think it's always important to see an eyewitness really on the front lines what's happening. But more than that, we really have to get our new clean energy economy going. That's where it is building the economy.
Well, I see the importance. I mean, it's front and center here in the United States. It's a buzzword. Everyone's talking about climate change. I'm thinking about the industrialized nations that are trying to catch up to us. How do you reach them and let them know, hey, belching this dioxide into the atmosphere is not a good thing? And I can imagine these countries are like, well, wait a second, we want a piece of the pie too. We want our economy. Why do we have to curb it right now when we're just starting to get going? I'm sure that's the problem you're up against.
It is, and the United States is the biggest polluter of all. But
even with all of our, like I said, top of mind awareness, even we're still.
Yeah, still right up there, right next to China. But the question of what do we do with the other industrial nations? We need the United States develop the technologies.
We've got to be the leader.
And build this economy around the solutions. It's as simple as that. The solutions are building the economy, the low carbon economy.
My question, being the devil's advocate for you, is we've only kept records of weather for 100 years. How do we know this isn't a naturally occurring phenomenon every several thousand years?
Yeah, that's a very good question. But we can go back, for example, in the ice cores in Antarctica and ice sheets, and those ice cores go back over 500,000 years. Where we have climate records. We have other records in muds in the ocean and so forth.
Oh yeah.
So we do have records that go way beyond hundreds of thousands of years back. And
well, we can't go wrong by reducing pollution. There's nothing bad about that.
It's a win-win. It's like a tripod. One we have an issue with the climate. We have a national security issue because we're relying on so much foreign oil for our economy, and we have an economic issue. It's all three.
Absolutely. Will, thank you so much for joining us. This is fascinating stuff, and I know you've put a lot of your adventuring on hold because you're focusing on climate change, and keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you
so much. You bet. For more information about Will and his upcoming expedition, visit willstegerfoundation.org.